Hello there, everyone. It's Kathy with Paper Phenomenon, and as promised, I'm here with a final review on this fabulous album. This is the bonus project that we did for the National Scrapbook Day 2024 workshop. So we took the 11 by 11 page folios and we made it into an album, a 12 by 12 album that has double page layouts with moving parts. I used three paper collections here. They're the Storybook collections, and I will link them in the description box below. You can get these both digital and printed. So, what I wanted to do for this final review is obviously go through the album, and I printed my pictures here. I got these printed at Walgreens, and I printed regular 4 by 6s, and I printed some 8 by 8s and some 5 by 7s. So these storybook collections are inspired by the Wizard of Oz, down the rabbit hole, the Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, and Raggedy Ann and Andy. So I don't have anything that's relatable to, those stories. I've never seen a Broadway show. Nothing. Didn't own Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. None of that. However, I do have a little girl, and she is a fairy tale all in her own rights. And I thought that these paper collections would be perfect for uh, everyday pictures that I take of my Faith. And this is Faith Monroe. I call her Figgy. And it's just perfect. So I have all of these pictures, trips to the mall, uh, her wearing one of my fascinators before one of my events, her just being beautiful with that gorgeous smile, just sitting in the living room. Everyday pictures. Her at a piano lesson with Miss Heidi's sunglasses, and just all sorts of beautiful things, right? Cheerleading. Again, just hanging out at the house, and I'm like, let me take a picture of you. Again, there's that fascinator again that she's wearing. And I thought that it would be so nice to use dance recital. I am not going to make an album for every one of these occasions. I'm just not, right? And I thought it would be nice to take these everyday pictures of Figgy or Faith Monroe, as you guys know her, and put them in these albums. And then I've got a slew of 4 by 6s. I printed my 4 by 6s without the white border because I want to show you how I treat my mats. All right. So you can either print with a white border if you know that you're just going to use a regular 4 by 6 and put it on there. See, this one has a white border. Here I wanted to put a smaller photo, so I put a white piece of paper. So when I trim this down accordingly, look at that face, my baby. Oh my goodness. I can trim it around and do the white border, right? So this photo, um, oh my goodness, just so cute. So I'm going to pick photos to put in these spaces. I love this one. There's lots of yellow here. I'm going to put this one right here. I don't have to have the full picture. It's just not something that I do. I am fine with, like, we went to go pick up some treats at the mall. Again, at the mall. This was a mall day. Look at her eating a cookie. So, what do you do with these photos, right? Before the mall, or maybe, this day, her around the house in my high heels, with her bonnet still on. So just everyday pictures like this, okay? And I'm just gonna go through these pictures and put them in this album, and I'm gonna crop them and just show you how I'm gonna do that, whether I'm gonna keep the white photo mat or not, and that's it. That's it. Tooth Fairy money, and just her being absolutely the cutest thing on the planet. This one I'm going to put right there. I love the colors as well. That yellow picture I will say was pretty perfect here. This one also has some yellow in it. So I gotta say, there's so many options just me looking through these photos. I love this one with her crown. So, you know, we'll just get it done. And then I printed these 8x8s so that we can what I call when I am and I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling. When I say, guys, you put a cropped version of an 8x10 here, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. All right. So let me get it together with some of these pictures, sort them out, and we're going to start putting pictures in our album. So I picked a few photos for this area here. And as you can see, they're not matted. They're not, I've done nothing to them. I just slipped them in here. So I'm going to start from the very beginning with these photos here, and then you'll get an idea. I'll have things prepped when we get to the other sections. They'll be matted, prepped, and all that good stuff. So you'll have a sense of what we're doing. So I like to use black and white cardstock for my photos. I use an 80-pound black and a 40-pound white. And I take my black paper, and I've discussed this several times, so sorry if this is repetitive for you, but lots of people like to know. All right, this is one of my most asked questions. Do we keep the white photo mats or do we replace it with the photo? And what does that mean? That's this white photo mat here. You know, when I put white paper and then we do the stamp place photo here, and I have it in several places. So it depends on the album. It depends on your photo. All right, so I want to keep these relatively 4x6. All right, so I start with my mats at 4 1/4. So first I cut at 6 1/4. 6 1/4. And then I cut by 4 1/4. And I can get, at a one sheet of 12x12, I can get 3 of them. You can get 4 if you cut the pinwheel way, and I've showed that in several of my videos. So then from this piece, I cut down to 3x4, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, right here. And then this is, I forget the measurement. Let me just not guess and measure out for you guys. Hold on, I lost my ruler buried under a bazillion photos. Here we go. So these are 2 by 3 1/4, of course. Well, 3 1/2, excuse me. Did I mess this up? No. Yeah, I did mess it up. I did. This is, I was supposed to do 3 1/4. And I did 3 1/2. So this piece would have been 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, which is a perfect size, but I goofed it up. Anyway, so then I take this side and I cut at 6 1/4. And you can't see, but it's pretty easy. And then 4 1/4 again. This I discard. This here you can cut at, I like to do either 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 or 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, or I leave it like this just in case I'm going to have some undersized photos that I can just chop this up and use it, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. All right, so I've got my starting pieces here. I didn't print any of my photos with white background paper, so then I take my white background paper and I cut this at 6 by 4 or 4 by 6. Okay. Now my photo is 4 by 6, so I will have to trim my photo down a bit because I like the white border. If you don't want the white border, then you don't have to trim your photo down. If you want to keep the 4 by 6 intact, then you would have to cut the white at larger, and then the black piece even larger than that. And I don't want to. I want my finished pieces to fit on this standard size photo mat, my standard. Okay? So what I do is I'm keeping this entire photo like this, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove from the bottom a quarter and then an eighth of an inch. Well, I can actually remove the quarter of an inch from one side, and it centers my photo perfectly. Then I take this photo, I stick it on here. Look at how that pops. And then I take this and I put it right on here. And this is my photo mat. Okay? So let's glue everything on. That's the way I like to do it. Come on, glue. All right, we've got some trouble here, which is fine. It'll start flowing in just a minute. There we go. We've got some flow, people. And then I take my glue, I put it on my photo. And we're done. All right, you can take a bone folder if you want, put it on a flat surface and burnish just to make sure you have no lumpy bumpies, and you're good to go. Okay, so there's photo number 1. I typically put these in a little tray like this, so they're right here in front of me, nice and handy, and they're not all over the place. Then this photo, there's all this background that is just useless to me. I have no use for this. So I could do one of two things to this photo. I can crop it at the top, put a little slit at the bottom, and insert a note on this photo if I wanted to, right? And I'll show you that. Like for instance, you can use this slot punch, like so. All right, slot punch. I am going to remove some from the top. I could even remove some from the sides if I want to. Okay, but I went too far with my slot punch, so I'm not going to do that. Then, remember this piece, my friends? There you go. And I wasn't thinking. I'm quite annoyed with myself now, but I would love to get rid of some of the sides. You know what? I'm just going to cut it off. I'll show you on another example. I really do not need all of that. So I would just trim this photo down like so, get a measurement of it, and it's 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. So my white piece, I'll trim down to 3. And I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, 4 1/2. I will use a larger piece of paper as opposed to trimming down my 4 by 6. I am so off on my measurements today. It is outrageous. So I did say 4 1/2, didn't I? And I did 4 1/4 again. Okay. Let's try this again, Kathy. I am quite off on my measurements today. Forgive me, guys. Then I'll take this, I'll mount it onto here, and same deal, my friends. And then I'll take the black piece, and I'll mount it onto the black piece. Because I say this to you guys all the time, I love different sizes of photos. There was no need, in my humble opinion, to keep all that background on the photo. I don't need it. There was no relevance to, she was just posing while we were walking down the street, and I took a picture. I asked her to take a picture, she posed down the street, and that's it. It's just showing Faith's personality and just her happy beautiful spirit, right? And I love it. So this one, I love everything about this photo. Uh, this is uh, this is her reflection here. This is Faith right here. So this photo, I can easily put a little slot in here, right? But I always like to trim my photos down. And I'm going to trim it from this side. And from the top so I can fit it on the 4x6. Now, if there's ever a case where I just don't want to do, don't want to trim it at all, etc., then I don't. I just cut my mat larger. No big deal. But again, 9 times out of 10, I'm okay with trimming. Down here is just all this noise, let's just call it noise, that I don't need. So I'm going to put a slot in there. I could put a little note if I want to in there, or an embellishment of some sort, and done. Okay, and I like to clean up the line at the bead of glue at the bottom, just in case so there's not too much oozing. And then I'll mount this to a piece of black. So it is up to you, my friends. Use your judgment on how you prefer to see or display your photos, right? I like to give it a little burnish on how you like to display your photos. And so now we'll have some fun stuff sticking out of there. This one, I don't need this at the top. I can put a slit in it. Let's see if I want to put a tag with yet a secondary photo in it. Let's do it, guys. Why not? I have to find the tag. Where do I have my tags? Let me think. Right, so you can split it at the top. Oh, I did it again. I don't know why. I never forget to cut my photos down. Never, ever, ever. And because I'm on camera, so I can't, I'm not going to do it to this one. I'm just cutting the top off. Because I'm on camera, I keep on forgetting. Because that's the way it is, guys. When you hit record. I always trim my photo first, and of course, not today. Today I just want to forget. That is a-okay. Right, and then I'm going to cut this down. That was 5 1/4, so this one would be 5 1/2. And it just saves me so much time to just grab the black that's already trimmed down, because I'm okay with throwing out scraps. I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with that. I want to enjoy my process. I don't want to have to think about how much paper I'm saving or should save or how much scraps I'm making. I just don't want to think about that. Look at my baby girl, how super adorable she is. God bless her. She is just beautiful inside and out. She's got such a good heart, my goodness. And I'll put these like so. And look at how cute that looks. So much better than the before. Remember the before? It was just photo mats in there, all of the same size. Look how much more visually appealing this looks. It also kind of mimics this look that we have up here. So it's just nice to crop your photos, get rid of all the noise around the photo, and done. So this is going to look even cuter because we can put a little envelope with a note or something in there. Okay. Now for up here, this is a pretty deep pocket. So we can do, I'll grab a larger piece of paper. We can do a large photo mat. So let me get one large photo mat or a couple of photo mats, right? So this pocket is 7 1/4 inches deep. So when I put a photo mat, this is a full 4x6. That looks great there, and it looks good there too, actually. So you really don't have to do anything. Regular photos will be just fine in here. Okay? So I love this photo. It's just everything about it is perfect. I'm going to trim it. I'm not going to do it to myself again. I'm going to trim it. Right, because I will be putting a slot in the floor of this one. So I changed my mind already about the larger photo mat. It fits just fine. So again, I try to just trim from one side versus two sides. It all depends, you know, what the image looks like. Okay? Just all depends. This one, I'll put a slot in it. I didn't muck this one up. And again, you don't have to put a slot in everything, okay? I'm just showing you where I would put a slot. See all this floor here? It's just perfect. So it's nice if you want to add some journaling, right? It's just nice. You can stick a little note in there. You can put even a secondary photo, right? A smaller one. The key to the glue here in the bottom is very, very small bead. So if it oozes, it will not seal the pocket, okay? That's what you don't want. And then photo mats right here. So after this, I'm going to bounce around to show you an example of where I would put an 8x10, or what I like to call a cropped version of an 8x10. Okay? So already visually appealing, guys, with the varying sizes of photos. You can even put this one on this side if you want, this one on this side, whichever way. It's just beautiful. And of course, I would put 2 more photos in here. So now let's take a look at an 8x10. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead and we're going to the Raggedy Ann section. All right, and this collection in my shop is called Best Friends Forever. So I know in here, okay, so here I broke it off. All right, so here, nope, not here. Where did I put? Oh, here. I knew I prepped somewhere. So in here, when you open this flap, this one right here, because there's all sorts of moving parts in this. I chose this photo to go here. All right, so this has room. This album has room for 8x10s, of course. Absolutely. But you can also crop it if you want to. I can cut Faith out and make her a character in the corner of this page here and put another photo, which would make it super duper fun. But we're not going to do that right now. I want to show you the 8x10. All right, so I would take a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. All right, and I'm going to crop this because I want it to fit. I want the white paper to be here. So I have to cut this paper to 8.25. Right? So I don't have to, I'm not going to crop it from the top. I'm just going to crop it from the sides. So I'm going to cut this at 8.25. And then this one would be 10. Right there. See that right there? And actually it can be 9.75 inches. That way I can get a nice border around it. Right there, we can get a little bit of the orange showing. And then this one, I would bring it down to 9.5. So I have more room on this side. So I'm going to come on this side. There we go. See that? And we still have that giant picture, however, with a beautiful border around it. And it just looks better, guys. It looks so much nicer when you do that. I need to add paper in here. I forgot about that. So it just looks really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this. And I need space because I want to burnish the glue into place. Can we put a slit in here and all that good stuff? Yeah, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep this one nice and simple. And again, I like to give it a little burnish just to make sure the glue is nice and flat so that it doesn't create any weirdness in any weird lumpies in my photo. All right, and now I'm going to bring my album back. Right here. Mount this here. And then guess what we can do on the bottom? We can journal. I'm going to create a few notes for faith in this with my computer. It'll be on white paper, and it'll just be a strip, which will probably be a 3/4 inch strip so I can still see orange at the bottom. Okay, so with the journaling, I'll just show you. And I would print my journaling landscape. Okay, well, it will not be mounted to black or anything. It'll just like this by, what was this, 9 3/4 inches, I believe. And that little note will just be right down here. See, you print it out and then trim it on your computer. I mean, print it on your computer and then trim it on your trimmer, not on your computer. All right, so that's what this space would be. All right, if you are a good planner, you can print it directly on this paper, then mat, then put the photo. But my brain doesn't work that way, so I would have to print it on the white and then mount it to here. Okay, so now you may see you will see something like this when we make projects. I take a paper like this, a photo mat. Come on, come to mama. And you can use any slit. You don't have to have this slit, this slot punch that I have. You can use any slot punch, my friends, okay? So you may see, and I say may, but I really mean will. You will see something like this in my projects. You're like, what do I do with this, Kathy? I'm going to show you, my friends. I'm going to show you. Okay, so what do you do with the white, right? Now, here it is. This slot is for a secondary photo or a note. So you measure this space out. So let's go ahead and measure. I managed to flip out of my thing here. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. So measure this space out here. So it's a 4. You're going to put a 4 by 3 3/4 in here, right? Because we always crop. I always crop so I can see the white. I love the white. So you pick a photo, my friends. Let's pick a photo. Okay, so I picked this picture because this is my subject right here. I don't need any of the extra. So we measured and we decided that we needed 4 inches and then, right, was it 4? Just let's double check. Wrong way for the ruler. Yeah, 4 inches, and I do want the white, so I'm going to be sure to crop it on this side. Right there. And now I want 4 inches right about, so I can get lots of just the photo in there. It's a bit dark, but I love her pose. I love everything about this photo, so I'm going to use it. All right, guys. You can also, if you want, you can chomp the corners, right, just to create a little interest in the photo. We have these tools, right? So we might as well use them. All right, so then you can put that photo right there. And then you have a little spot for some journaling. some embellishments, whatever the case may be. Whatever you want to put there, you can do that. Okay, so it's just pretty perfect. Right, so I'm not sure where I'm going to put this one at. However, I am going to come back over here because I want to just talk about adding photos directly to your album, meaning, you know, like on pattern paper. So you have a choice. You can put another piece of pattern paper down here, or you can stamp, or you can journal as well, okay? That's what I love about the white, because you can journal, which is really, really nice. I personally do not love my handwriting, so I probably will not be doing that, but who knows? One of these days I may surprise myself. So I'm going to crop this photo down to the size we've been talking about, right? 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/4. And I can take it from the top. Okay. I love this type of page because we can stick a photo mat right in here. I mean, not a photo mat, a tag. So I usually try to open these just enough to fit a tag. And I made, you gotta make it fit. It's kind of tight, huh? Oh, and I did, darn it. And I did glue it midway. Not too bright, I tell you. Not enough for my tag to go all the way in. Just a little bit more. I wasn't thinking about the length. There we go. I normally go a little further out so I have more room, but again, no worries. So you can choose whether you want to do white behind here or leave this as is. And I have to say, I really love the white. Let's audition the white so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, all right? So this white piece, so that it can fit perfectly behind the pattern paper, you're going to have to cut it down to the 3 3/4 inches, right? And then I got to cut this down, just remove a teeny bit more, not teeny bit more, another 1/4 of an inch. So it would be 3 1/2. So that it can fit right there with the white. And you see what the white does for you guys? Do you see that? I love the white. So then I can put an embellishment down here, or I can do another photo. I can crop another photo and just put it right under there. And because this is an album just about the many faces of faith, I'm just picking photos that fit, that look good, and that are pleasing to me. There's no chronological order here. These are all 2024. No, actually, yeah, these are 2024 photos. I believe they're all 2024. So, no, I'm lying. There's some Easter ones at 2023. So I can put a date in here, 2023, 2024, and that's it. I don't have to use these Easter ones. This was a boo-boo, a skating boo-boo. She got quite a few boo-boos. Look at that face. Oh, my princess. So this is another fun pose of hers. This is a pocket here for more photos. Look at that. If I wanted to, I could just crop this little look right here and put it down here. But I love this photo so much, I do not want to crop it that much. So when you put your white photo mats down, on occasion, I didn't do it this time, but I tell you to tack it down if you're not sure that you want to keep the white, or in some cases you may print already with the white border. So what you do is you put a small little dollop, dot of glue, put it down, so then you can just pull it up when you're done with it. But I didn't print with the white border, so I need the white, so I'm going to cut my photo down. And it'll just be so perfect with the white. See that? So I'm going to stick those two there, and they look so pretty. I'm so pleased with that. So you just have to choose, my friends. And how do you choose? Depending on how much space you leave in your album. Some places you may be able to do the white photo mat. Other places you may not be able to do the white photo mat. It just depends. I like to leave enough room in my albums when I mat to leave the white photo mat. But there are some cases in some of my album designs that I don't, that you have to replace the photo with the white, replace the white with the photo, and that's where you want to print on a white background. All right. And that's typically with my books where it's just spaces for 4x6, where it's strictly 4x6. You know, guys, really, it truly depends on the design. And you have to use your judgment on that. But this, my friends, I love so much. And there's more room for photos back here. So I could put this one of her and Prince back there. I can crop all of that background off. Oh, look at this face. That goes perfect right there. Maybe I'll put this one right here. Yeah. So this is 4¼ by whatever this length is. So see, the white is 4x6. See how that fits right there so perfectly? Just beautiful. Tooth Fairy Money. Oh, I love this one here too. Look at these, how perfect they are. She just looks like such a big girl with these braids. Look at my Faith here and look at my Faith here. She just looks like such a big girl with those braids. I can't take it. Oh, my baby. Just so sweet. When she had her cupcake baking class. Can you imagine making a whole album for baking cupcakes, her first baking class? It's just not, it's just not going to work, right? Just a day of her doing homework. Look at that face, how gorgeous. I love that one there. The colors just go perfectly. However, I do also love this one here. So I think I'm going to do the homework one. I like that one. So the colors, again, just work so perfectly there. Before I commit, I'm just going to go through another quick little thumb through. Oh, this one is cute too. This one, this was lunch, right? I went to her school and had lunch. I brought her lunch. So, oh, there's 2 homework pictures. So maybe I'll pick another. Oh, there's 3 homework pictures. So maybe I'll pick another place for that. But see, here I can croppity, leave this one whole, and croppity, crop most of these, right? So this is nice for perhaps a photo mat that can go in here, right? So let me do that. Let's do photo mats. So let's cut. All right, so for this pocket, I cut a photo mat that's 8 3/8 by 8 3/8. And that will allow me to, uh-oh, I lost the photo. Let's crop these because I know I'm going to use these. I'm going to do 2 4 by 4 photos. Or, excuse me, 3 3¾ inches. Because I want the white, but I'm just going to cut the 4 by 4 for now. So just some casual pictures of Faith just doing her homework that day. That's it. And again, this paper collection is just perfect for that sort of thing because it's story time. So this is the story about Faith. Okay, so if we want to put the white back here, I would just do a white at 8 1/8 of an inch by 8 1/8 of an inch. That way you don't have to cut the paper, you know, cut 4 different pieces of paper. That would just make no sense. And we know we need white because there's no white border on any of these. Okay, I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this video, my friends, to finish it up. But I feel like everybody will benefit from something like this because it is always a question. The white photo mats. All right, so I just chopped a 1/4 inch off of that one. I don't need her entire arm there. So I'm going to bring this one down to 4.5. Right? See that? Get her arm, her little hands holding the pencil is what I'm looking for here. That will go there. Then these two will be cropped to 3 3/4 inches. And what I want to know is, why is one taller than the other? I cut this one at 3 3/4 inches like a doofus. But that's all right. I can do that. That is just fine. So look at that, guys. How adorable is that? My little Faith. I can even find another photo. And put it down here. Or you fill this with patterned paper. Patterned paper, my friends. All right, let me glue the white. And yes, you will mat the pattern paper right on top of the white. Or you can create a slit. Oh boy. Now we're starting to have some fun here. Now this is fun. Hang on. You can create a slit down here. Add a little pattern paper. I got to be careful. Hold on. Let me put the picture back. Let me put the picture on so I know where my parameters are. We could even put picture here and then pattern paper above, but I'm going to stick to this because this is what we know, right? This is what we know. I'm going to move this one over a bit more. Want a nice bold white border on this one. Oh yeah, very nice. So I like to keep 1/8 of an inch in between the photos. But if I can leave a bolder border around the perimeter, that's even better. But sometimes, you know, the photo size doesn't allow me to do that. There's only so much you can cut off before you just start messing up a photo. See that? How nice. So pretty. And now I know that I can go just a little bit more, right? Now I'm going to take this entire thing and glue it down here. And then this will go into my pocket. So around the perimeter, careful down below here. And we are going to burnish this so we don't have too many lumpy bumpies. And guess what? This slips right into the pocket. You get to see that, and whatever is going to be sticking out of here, my friends. Love it. So this gorgeous picture of my Faith Monroe. There was another photo of this. Let's find it. So I decided to go with a contrast, right? Where we have this gorgeous smile and then sad face over here from one extreme to the other. I love this look here. So I am going to put the white behind this. So I'm just going to crop 1/4 of an inch off the top and the bottom. And I don't want to cut any of her hair off, so we're going to go this way. So I cut it from here. Now I am going to mount this onto white and stick it here on the black. Right there. Beautiful. I'm running out of space. Then I'm going to mount it right onto the black. Look at that. Careful not to get it on the score line, Kathy King. And then this one, again, we're going to mount it to white. And again, that's a look that I like. And that may be a look that you like. So you get to see what this looks like, right? How fun. And because I know that I am going to tell the story of this photo, I'm going to flush this photo higher to the top. So like right here. So then when we put our little envelope in there or our little tag with a note, you know, you can see everything. The photo tag, everything is perfectly spaced, which is my preference. So you get to see the pattern paper, the photo, all the good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do pattern paper here and find some embellishments to put here. This could be a journaling spot or add another strip of pattern paper for a little insertion point. And let's do one more thing. So I want to add a photo to this tag here. And because this is just Faith tumbling in the backyard one random day, I don't need all of this. This is 3 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to go for 2 7/8 of an inch on this photo. Okay. I don't need any of, see, I was potting up plants and Faith was doing, practicing her twirly-twirlies, gymnastic stuff. So I prefer to cut some more off this tag because, you know, it was hard for me to stick it in there. So I'm going to go in for, go in for 4.5 inches, my finished size. So that means my photo would need to be no larger than 3 1/4 inches is my preference. Okay, so let's see what we get. Oh my gosh, too perfect. Too perfect, my friends. See? That's all we need. That's it. And I don't want it too high, so when I stick it in here, I can put a piece of pattern paper here and done. But I'm going to cut just a little bit more because I want white. So 3 1/4 inches for the white. I'm going to remove a little bit more off the top to 3 inches. As long as I'm not removing her hands, that's all that matters to me. Because I need her hands in there, right? So now I did 3 inches. So now, this paper is not perfectly sized, but I can live with it. It's just, all I need is a 3-inch frame. I can't see. Hold on. Oh, I gotta take off just a bit more. But I said 2 7/8 of an inch. My picture is that size, so my picture needs to be 2 5/8 of an inch. There we go. There we go. So now I have this one random picture of Faith trying to do a cartwheel. That's the word I was looking for. While I was potting up some plants, one random evening, and it's in this album, right? These are the types of photos that stay in your phone forever. But look, we can do stuff like this. So again, these are the 3 storybook collections, and the project is moving parts. So if you picked up the National Scrapbook Day moving parts for 2024, this album is in there with 5 other folios, okay? You can also stick this in here All right, so stick that in there. You can also stick that in here. You can also just kind of put this here under some pattern paper with some string. So many places. And of course, we can add some string to this for the pull. But how nice to have it as this little tuck. You pull that out and boom, another picture. So we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to come with a part 2, right, with some more examples of matting and just some fun stuff, guys. Filling spaces up with pattern paper, adding some embellishments, putting a cute little picture here as well. So much more to do in this album. Tag in here with a photo because we don't want to cover up the image, right? But we can absolutely put a tag. Come on. I may have to cut this one too. There we go. With a photo. Just like we did on this other side. We need to put photo mats in here. Oh my gosh, maybe we'll do this one. So I want this one to be front and center. You know what I didn't do? I didn't print any 2x2s. I forgot to do that. And just find all sorts of fun things. Maybe we could put this one of Faith sleeping. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's so perfect right there. Look at that. Look of her little beautiful face sleeping there. That's perfect. I'm going to use that one for there. But we'll pick up right here in the next video.